Target, England. This fortress built by nature, this island guarded by a fleet that is her ornament and her bulwark, Fortress England is boldly shelled by an enemy fleet on December 16, 1914. A German battlecruiser squadron, slipping past the British Guard, stamps this havoc on 3 coastal towns: Scarborough, Whitby, Hartlepool. A 106 civilian dead will be found in the wreckage, including 15 children. Britain, which has not felt the blow of enemy guns since the mid-17th century. Britain is shocked and angered. The German challenge, looming through 2 decades of the pre-war naval race, has now been delivered to Britain's doorstep. It will be settled in one great battle at Jutland. Sea power, the big fleet. This was the trophy of the century's first arms race. Status symbol of great nations, ultimate weapon in their arsenals, ultimate threat to empires linked and fed by ships. On January 23, 1915, British sea power goes out to meet a German challenge. Bank, a North Sea shallows 150 miles off Hull, Admiral Sir David Beatty's battlecruiser squadron intercepts a German force, bent on another coastal raid. Moments after the first contact, the German Admiral, Franz von Hipper, turns tail and heads for home, pursued by the fire of Beatty's guns. Bigger, faster, more heavily armed, the British sink 1 ship, the Blucher, but are jolted by 14 hits themselves, and finally lose the enemy through impulsive command and a mix-up in signals. Beatty, publicly proclaimed a victor, while his flagship Lion limps home under tow, has given the Admiralty doubts about its vaunted sea power. But the Germans too are chastened as they return to berth at Wilhelmshaven. Outnumbered in capital ships, almost 2 to 1, they retire to the posture prescribed by their commander-in-chief. Our duty is to keep this, our main weapon, sharp and bright. The enemy must and will come to us. Navy life in Britain, 1915. From its lonely bases in the northern reaches of the British Isles, the Grand Fleet now rules the sea without battle. Sea power resting on tradition, royal and changeless. George V himself, once the youngest cadet at Dartmouth Royal Naval College, later commanded a cruiser. And it is still very much what Gilbert and Sullivan called it, the King's Navy. The Navy is a distinct social caste, headed by admirals like Sir Rosslyn Wester Weems, of an old Scottish title. Beatty, a commoner, is married to an American heiress, a daughter of Marshall Field. Their commander, Sir John Jellicoe, senses after Dogger Bank that the fleet, built on tradition, is also bound by it. Jellicoe notes, with new and untried methods of warfare, new tactics must be devised. Tactics to meet new threats like the U-boat, which Jellicoe dreads. As the Germans, thwarted on the surface, turn more and more to the U-boats, the British develop new methods of anti-submarine warfare. One of the most elaborate, if not the most effective, is the Q-boat. Disguised as a defenseless merchant ship, it lures the enemy to the surface and then outguns him. Submarine detection, a primitive listening device to pick up the trail of an unseen enemy by the sound of his engines. Toward the end of 1915, after America's outrage over the sinking of the Lusitania, Germany will give the U-boats a new mission: attack the British fleet. A new, more explosive pattern emerges in the North Sea, the main arena of British-German naval rivalry. The British Grand Fleet exerts a stranglehold on German commerce from Jellicoe's northern bases, from Beatty's base in the Firth of Forth, from Dover, where patrols and minefields block the channel. The German fleet still hides in its mine-guarded anchorage, but its U-boats, called off the pursuit of neutral shipping, are now sent out to attack warships. There is also a new shadow falling across Britain's security: the Zeppelins, lumbering air arm of the German high sea fleet, taking a whole day to cover the 300 miles from their bases in Schleswig-Holstein to their targets: Yarmouth, Hull, London. Britain learns the bitter facts of life in the air age. The facts of air raid shelter and air raid casualties. Press and public demand reprisal. It is up to the Grand Fleet to deliver. Early in 1916, the admirals of the Grand Fleet are busy with plans. Commander of the fleet, Jellicoe, tight-lipped, meticulous. Under him, Beatty, jaunty and impetuous. Beatty will lead the way as a decoy, while Jellicoe takes the assembled main fleet to a rendezvous off the coast of Denmark. They will launch seaplanes to bomb the Zeppelin bases. They will be ready for decisive battle if the Germans come out. The German fleet is fired with a venturesome new spirit of its own, the spirit of Admiral Reinhard Scheer, its new commander-in-chief, and Admiral Hippert, his battlecruiser squadron leader. On a visit to Wilhelmshaven, the Kaiser gives Scheer the go-ahead for a plan to start whittling down Britain's numerical advantage. A plan Scheer calls total offensive. Hipper will make a sortie. When a British pursuit force emerges, Zeppelins will spot them and U-boats will pick some of them off. The rest will be lured by Hipper into the hands of Scheer, trailing astern. The high sea fleet will sail again.